Hey guys, I'm Nikki Dinky. Welcome to my kitchen. Today you are in for a real treat. Literally, we are making Oreo truffles. Yum, that's right. Chocolate on the outside, soft gooey Oreo center. Sounds delicious. And to be honest, sounds kind of hard to make. Well, it's so beyond not hard to make. It may be one of the easiest desserts that I make, and yet I get some of the biggest reactions from it. So stick with me, this one's a real crowd pleaser. We're gonna be making some Oreo truffles. When I say easy or simple, I do not lie. We're using one of my favorite pieces of kitchen equipment, the food processor. What I like about this is, well, number one, it does all the work for us, but also it does something that we couldn't do by hand. So it's kind of neat that, I don't know, we're really using it to its full potential. What I'm gonna do is to take a package of Oreos. This is a 16.6 ounce package. I think that's pretty standard. And I'm gonna grind these up in the food processor until they're nice and finely ground. Now that those are nice and finely ground, all we're gonna do is add one 8-ounce block of cream cheese. Now, this doesn't really need to be at room temperature or anything special. To be honest, one time I didn't actually grind these up before adding the cream cheese. I did it all together. It took a lot longer, but it worked. I mean, this is pretty foolproof. So just add in a block of cream cheese, and you want to mix this around until it forms a dough-like ball. A delicious dough-like ball. Perfect. See, it's kind of dough-like. Now, what we want to do eventually, of course, is to roll these into balls. This is a little bit too soft right now, so I'm going to put it in the freezer or the fridge, depending on how much time you have, just until it firms up enough that I can start to roll it into balls. Because, of course, we're going to be rolling this into balls and dipping it into chocolate. And don't be afraid of the whole cream cheese thing. Some people think it's kind of a weird ingredient. You don't taste the cream cheese. It just gives it this beautiful consistency and the right texture, and it's kind of the binder. So really, Oreos and cream cheese is the perfect mix. So while that's chilling, I can work on melting my chocolate. I've got a double boiler here, which just means that I've got a pot with a bigger bowl on top. Obviously, you don't want the bowl to be falling into the pot. I've also got an inch of water in here that's boiling. And the most important thing is that our water cannot be touching the bottom of our bowl. If that happens, our chocolate that we're eventually gonna put in here is gonna scorch and get really, really gross. So make sure that the water is boiling, but not touching your bowl. Make sure that you use a glass or a metal bowl because a plastic one will melt. Not a good idea. I'm gonna get some chocolate in here. I got a bag of milk chocolate. You can use any chocolate you like. And I'm gonna start rolling out those Oreo truffles too. So my chocolate is beautifully melted. I mean, you could just drink it, couldn't you? I'm gonna go get my dough from the freezer. It's just hardened up enough that I can roll it into balls. As you're working with it, if it starts to get a little soft on you, especially if it starts to fall apart in the chocolate, you wanna put it back in the freezer and let it firm up a little bit more. A couple tricks when you're doing this to make sure they look really beautiful is once you dip it in the chocolate, you wanna work kind of fast so it doesn't really fall apart on you. And then I wanna take it out with this long tonged fork. I'm gonna scoop it out with the fork and I'm gonna give it a couple really nice taps on the side of the bowl. That's gonna really shake off any of that extra chocolate, which we wanna take off because if we don't, by the time we put it on our mat, it's gonna really pool underneath. And granted, a puddle of chocolate's not necessarily a bad thing, but it won't look quite as pretty. We also wanna make sure that we've got a silicone mat or some parchment paper. Because remember, we're gonna be putting hot chocolate on here, letting it firm back up, and eventually, we do need it to come off of here. So a silicone mat is really great. You can put it in the dishwasher, you can use it forever. Parchment paper is nice, you can buy it right next to your foil and all that kind of stuff. If you don't want to have any of those, you could use, some tin foil and maybe spray it heavily with some cooking spray. But then you might get a little bit of that oil on your balls, which I don't really like. So I kind of prefer a silicone mat or some parchment paper. So I'm gonna go get my dough and I'm gonna start rolling and dipping and placing. At these. I mean, don't those look great? Put a little bit of crushed Oreo just on the top, a little decoration. Also can kind of hide some of the flaws, but I'm telling you, I worked kind of fast and these look really good. I'm gonna pop these in the fridge, enjoy, well, about 41 of them later, and I will see you guys next time. And remember, always have fun in the kitchen. Bye-bye, guys.